Okay, maybe I start with, while waiting for them to settle down, let us start with some housekeeping topics. So first of all, we would like to invite all participants to actually rename yourself. So your name and a comma and your university. And then for your information, you are muted. And if you wish to pose a questions to the speaker, please type your question in the Q&A box. You can find the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, the Zoom webinar screen. And please do not post your question in the chat box. We're afraid that we will lost track your question in chat box. For your information, we will take all the Q&A at the end of the presentation. A link of for attendance is actually shared in chat box. Please go and fill in your attendance so that we can later on send you all the related documents, slides, and recordings after the event. Also, the slides and the video recording and also some supporting documents will be uploaded on our MyRMA website. For members, you can log into our website and view view the recordings, the video, or the slides. Okay. For all the participants and attendees, we do ask for your kind cooperation for not to record the session, because we are going to share with you the recording after the session. And then we will try our best to address all the questions that you post during the session. But if we are not able to cover all, then we will answer it offline, and later on we will email all the answers to all the participants. So in order for you to receive all the answers, slides, and recording, please go and fill up the attendance at the chat box. The link is shared in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much. So I guess we are ready to go now. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. My name is Tan Xiao Wei, as the Research Manager at the Institute of Research Management and Services, University of Malaya. I'm also Secretary of the Malaysia Association of Research Managers and Administrators, MyRMA. So on behalf of UM and MyRMA, I would like to welcome all the participants to the sharing session today, and thank you very much for participating in our event. I can see some familiar names on the participant list, and for those participants who are new to MyRMA, it's a national level association, and we open to all the individuals and institutions who are interested in supporting research management objective. If you have interest to join us, please visit our website at www.myrma.org. So for the last year, MyRMA has held a few seminars and workshops face-to-face. Maybe you have participated in one of them. For example, the Grant Management Forum, the Patent Search Talk, and also the Bibliometric 2 days workshop. For 2021, there are much more activities in the pipeline. So some of you might be aware that today's webinar is actually the 5th webinars of MyRMA co-organizing together with our partner universities. The first one was in early January on open science, and then we will follow by the briefing session that we co-organized with USIM regarding the Malaysia-Spain joint call. And then it was the 2 workshops on FRGS and PRGS that we co-organized with UPSI on the 27th and 29th. Unfortunately, the one on 29 has to be postponed due to some technical issue, and we are going to have it on the 10th of February. So I hope that you will be able to join us. It will be the talk on the 10th of February will be focusing on the patent search. And now we are having a sharing session, which is the fifth webinar. The sharing session with the panel reviewer of FRGS grant. So our speaker today is Dr. Wan Haliza. And Prof. Wan Haliza is a professor at the Physics Department of University of Malaya. She is very active in conducting research, and her involvement in research has led her to lead many internal and external research grants. So to name a few government grants that she actually a recipient was ERGS, FRGS. She's also heading LRGS grant, and she has a science fund since 2020. Since 2000. Since the year of 2000, she was very active on that. And she has been invited as a panel reviewer for various grant schemes awarded by MOHE and MOSTI since 2012. Internationally, she also involved as one of the panel reviewer for the Slovak Research and Development Agency, starts from the year of 2016 until now. She is still active with the agency. Today, Prof. Wan is going to share with us her personal experience on how long have been involved and in evaluating research grants, how the evaluation criteria has been evolved, and also she will also share with us what are the so-called good proposals versus the not so good ones, and citing some examples. Okay, without further ado, please welcome Prof. Wan Haliza.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, for a very kind introduction. Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone who is attending this webinar. First of all, again, I'd like to thank University of Malaya and also MyRMA for inviting me to this session. So it's a very good opportunity, and not just sharing the experience that I've gone through evaluating for the various grants. And on this today topic, we are going to focus on FRGS. So I've been doing this evaluation quite some time already, like Dr. Tan said, since 2000. So, being a recipient to several grants from MOHE, and also the 2012 evaluating at the university and also at the national level. So I think it is quite high time to share with you all some of the experience, so that the benefits will be transferred to as many researchers and also managers as possible. So being involved at the international level in Slovak Research and Development Agency, I can see also the different ways of evaluating grant from a Malaysian perspective and also at the international level. Okay, so currently, introducing myself, I'm the head of Low Dimensional Materials Research Center at Physics Department. Okay, so maybe some of you is already familiar with me, but I understand that maybe most of you have not encountered or come across with me at all. Okay, so this is me. Okay, Prof. Dr. Wan Haliza Abdul Majid, head of Low Dimensional Material Research Center, Physics Department, University of Malaya. Right, so we start with FRGS. FRGS is one of the grants that has been offered by APT, I think quite some time already, in order to advance fundamental research at the national level. Okay, so realizing the importance of fundamental research at the national level for Malaysia, KPT is doing that by introducing this fundamental research grant in a small scale. It can somehow contribute towards the advancement of knowledge, okay, in Malaysia. So when this grant is introduced, we are hoping, the KPT is hoping, okay, the Ministry of Higher Education is hoping that this grant will somehow stimulate discoveries and also technological invention in science. So we have to bear that in mind, okay? And a bit ambitious, okay, the third one is, they are also hoping that by giving this grant to some of the researchers, some of the research that has been performed somehow will achieve the Nobel Laureate Prize, which I'm not sure whether it will be achieved or not, but dreaming for something is something that we have to do in order for us to achieve something. We have to dream it first, okay? So by evaluating some of the proposal for a few years already, I think these ambitions or this objective might be achieved maybe after a few years' time from now, okay? Right, so it's a fundamental research. FRGS is meant for fundamental research. So we have to understand when we talk about fundamental research, what does it mean, okay? So the main thing that we need to question when we are writing fundamental research proposal is whether the proposal is answering the question of why and also how, okay? So whatever topic research that you are exploring and also proposing, that proposal must answer these two questions, okay? Why and also how, okay? So this answering why and how questions would lead to advancement of knowledge in various areas of human and natural science. So when we talk about fundamental research, answering why and how, the research should focus on three things, okay? Or one of these three things. One is accumulation of theories, whether the proposal address the accumulation of theories, okay? Is it proposing something fundamental structures to the research in the forms of methodology, for example, okay, or in the form of new analysis, new ways of analyzing something, okay? Or is it introducing fundamental process, okay, of the science that it is proposing, okay? So the research should focus on one of these three aspects, okay? Accumulation of theories, fundamental structures of the research, and also the process, okay? It can be one, or it can be two, or it can be three of these aspects. So I think most of you already aware of this, that MOHI is not just offering FRGS. There are other types of grants that has been offered by MOHI. In case your proposal does not fall to the criteria defined for our FRGS, you have other type of grants that you can apply. For example, LRGS, long-term research grant, Transdisciplinary Research Grant Scheme, which is TRGS, PRGS, this is the Prototype Research Grant, and we have other NRGS and also ACE grants, okay? So today's webinar is going to focus on FRGS, but for those who are new with the research grant under MOHI, so these are the criteria for all the grants. In case your proposal does not fall in FRGS, you can still look whether it falls under one of these grants, and apply when it is opening. Okay, so as I have mentioned, FRGS, the main concern is to generate new theories, concepts, ideas, and to answer the question of why and also how. Okay, we have TRGS, Transdisciplinary Research Grant. So this one, the main objective is to establish collaboration, partnership across various high institution learning, okay, or high learning institution, and also not just between universities or institutions. They are also expecting collaboration across various research clusters and also transdisciplinary. Okay, so that's why it is called as Transdisciplinary Research Grant Scheme. Okay, and then we have the third one, which is Long-Term Research Grant Scheme, LRGS. This is having the same criteria as FRGS, but it requires implementation for a period more than 3 years, and it is higher learning institution, meaning that it has to be involved with not just one university, 2 or 3 universities, and then across maybe different, there is also an expectation that social science is also involved in this LRGS. Okay, and then we have prototype, PRGS. So this, the main objective of this grant offered is to develop prototype and also research and development product generation before commercialization. Okay, so if your grant proposal is at this stage already, then you can consider to apply for PRGS. And then we have ACE-GS. This is the acculturation of collaboration effort. So that is called ACE. So the objective of ACE is to enable non-research universities to enhance research acculturation through collaboration between all public higher learning institutions. And then the last grant that I have listed here, okay, is known as NRGS, which is Niche Research Grant Scheme. So Niche Research Grant Scheme targets on leveraging the development research niche in every public higher learning institution towards respective uniqueness and also strength. Okay, so the niche area of each universities. Okay. So NRGS focus on comprehensive university and also focused university. So those are the available grants that are offered by MOHE. Right. So since today we are going to focus specifically on FRGS, so the duration of FRGS is within 2 or 3 years. Okay. Maximum quantum number that you can apply is 250,000. So from when you are offered this grant, what MOHE is expected that you can produce human resource. For example, if you are granted 3 years for the grant, they are expecting that at least one PhD graduate can be produced from the money invested to you. Okay. Or if the grant is granted for 2 years, it is expected that one master student, okay, can be produced from the money invested to you. Okay. And then beside that, another KPI is expected from granting this grant to the researchers is the publications. Okay. So they are expected that you can produce at least two index from Dr. Muhammad Issa last time is they are expecting the researchers to able to produce one WAS, and another one is from Scopus or other index, which is maybe SSI, WAB, okay, ERA, and also my site, okay. So when you are writing your proposal, so there is one column that you need to include, which is output. So this one, you need to specify at least you can produce 2 index journal papers from the grant that you are proposing, right? So eligibility, this one is well known. I suppose it's well known to everyone. So for those who read Garis Panduan for FRGS, this is known already. Just running through it very quickly. So the grant is open to all academics from IPT and also research institute. It can be Malaysian citizen or non-Malaysian. So Malaysian citizen, we expect that the must be a permanent or contract academic staff. Maybe it can be professor, associate professor, senior lecturer, okay. Contract staff can also apply for this grant, but it requires another co-researcher who is a permanent academic staff, okay. For non-Malaysian, the specification of the grant that one of the researchers or the co-researcher must be a Malaysian citizen who is already a permanent academic staff, okay. For Malaysian research fellow or fellow researcher, the contract that is, he is still under contract not less than 2 years, okay. So in order for him to be eligible, okay, to apply for this FRGS. So another criteria is the PI, the principal investigator, can only apply one project at one time, okay. But he or she can be a co-researcher in other projects per cycle, okay. So you can apply for one FRGS grant and at the same time be a member, okay, on another application. So that's not a problem, as long as you are only applying one as a PI. So this one is shared by Prof. Dr. Muhammad Isa previously. There are other additional criteria for the researcher who apply as a PI for this grant. So PI must have at least 2 years of service, okay? If he is on study or sabbatical leave, then the leave is, if the leave is more than 6 months, then he or she is not eligible to apply for this grant. For research collaborator, PI must have at least one researcher from the same institution and from the same institution and also in the same field of expertise, okay? And KPT or MOHI is now encouraging researchers to do pattern search, okay? To indicate that the research is new, the research is novel, okay, which will benefit to the development of knowledge for the country, okay. They are also looking if the researchers is having a form of collaboration with industry or agency, and they are also expecting that the researcher do some risk management to ensure that if the grant was granted to the researcher, they are well aware what are the risks involved and know how to overcome the risk. Right. So all application must go through MyGrants. I hope everyone has already registered themselves with MyGrants, and you are going to get your username, password, okay? And then applications is all online, okay? Right. So what are the evaluation and also application process? Okay, so this is basic knowledge that I would like to share with you, okay? In case there are new lecturers or new researchers in this webinar today, but I expect for those who are already applying for a few years already they would be familiar with an announcement, okay, opening for the grant. And then researchers can apply for the grant at this stage, right? All application is through online. University will pick up all the applications, right? And then or the higher institution will pick up all the application through MyGrant. And then they will have, the higher institution will have their own panels to evaluate the grant internally, okay? So there will be evaluation process at the university level, okay? If the grant is not achieved, has not achieved the standard deemed by the university, okay? So the panel will suggest some modification to the grant, and then it will go back to the application, to the applicants, and the applicants will modify and go through the MyGrant system again, okay? Until the panel is satisfied, okay? So if the panel is satisfied, the university level panel is satisfied, they will pass it through to BPKI, okay? This is the a section in KPT or MOHI which look into all grants, okay, for KPT, okay? So they will look at the eligibility and all those kind of things, technical stuff thing to see whether the grant is worth evaluating or not, right? So they will do some inspection here, okay? They will do some inspection. So once the inspection is fully approved, it will pass to the KPT evaluators, okay? But if the technical aspect and all other things are violated, then the grant will be rejected, okay? But most likely, all application, if the university level has done thorough evaluation, right? Most likely they will check all the technicalities and other things, okay? So the one which is passed to BPKI, okay, normally 100% will be passed to the KPT evaluators. But certain, through experience, okay, certain grants has not been evaluated properly at the university level. So when they reach BPKI, there are certain technical issues which has been violated. So there are also some grants rejected before going to KPT evaluators, okay? So KPT is relying highly on the universities to properly evaluate the grants, okay? See the technicalities, whether it is 100% following the guidelines given by KPT. So if that is the case, then 100% grant, which is submitted by the university to BPKI, will go to the evaluation stage by KPT evaluators. Okay, so each step will involve some evidence, document, sampling, report, recommendation to BPKI. So the university evaluators will give recommendation on each grant that they evaluate, okay, and there are history to the evaluation process. So the KPT evaluators can see the histories of the evaluation process, and they can evaluate whether the applicants has actually looked through the recommendation by the panels at the university and adjust the proposal according to the evaluators at the university level. Okay, so that would be part of the decision making that the KPT evaluators will see whether they want to pass through the grant or otherwise. Okay, so they will see whether the researchers has actually taking seriously the evaluation at the university level. Okay, right? So these are the evaluation criteria that the generally that the evaluators will look through for each grant. Okay, so the first thing that they will check is whether there is a fundamental criteria to the research grant. Okay, whether they have answered the question why, how, and has the proper as I have described through the researchers have done, okay, previously.
Sorry, Prof, we lost you just now. Would you please repeat the first one, the fundamental?
Yes. Okay. So, okay, yeah. The first criteria is whether the proposal is fundamental. Okay. So the evaluators will see and look through your proposal and try to find the fundamental element from the research proposal and see whether the research proposal is trying to answer the question of how, why, and also how. Okay, right. So after that is seen that the research proposal is fundamental. Okay, then the evaluators will look through okay, and what are their previous findings. So this will be done by the evaluators. Okay. Another question is that maybe you have this question maybe in your mind, whether young academic staff is encouraged to apply for this grant. Okay. To be honest with you, evaluators is considering the experience that has been whether the applicants has appropriate experience to handle the grant. Okay, the evaluators will look into that. Okay, as I understood, okay, at the university level they have their own internal grant that they give out to the young researchers, the senior lecturers. Okay, UM has that. I think many universities has that. So that is also considered to see the ability of the young lecturers to handle research grants. So if you have that, then I think that would be very good, okay, to use it as evidence that you are capable of handling research grant, okay? So that's why here I put special consideration will be given based on the viability of the project and also evidence that you are capable of handling research grant. Okay, so it's not like totally ruling out that young lecturers cannot apply FRGS. Okay, so you can apply for FRGS and you have to give evidence that you have the capability of managing a research grant. Okay. Yeah, as I have mentioned to you, the evaluators will look whether the PI, the research leader, has the capability of handling the grant. Okay, so one of the criteria would be experience, okay, of handling a research grant at the national level, okay, or at least at the university level, okay. And then they will see whether the proposal is viable, okay. They will look whether the research methodology is sound, okay. The research plan, 2 or 3 years can achieve the objective stated by the researcher, okay. And then also they will look through whether the proposed budget is reasonable, okay. It's not highly markup or too low that it would be impossible to run the project, okay. So this thing will be looked through by the evaluators. Okay. Since the grant maximum quantum for FRGS is only 250,000, okay. So we don't expect that this grant can buy expensive instruments or infrastructures, okay. So we encourage the researchers to actually utilize the existing and also available infrastructures at the university or at the national levels, okay? Because definitely you wouldn't be able to buy a very big equipment, expensive equipment with this grant. So, but this grant is suitable for researchers who has the infrastructures already or know the way how to get the infrastructures, okay? And it is mainly important to get students who can be employed as GRA or RA to run the project. Okay, so assessment, the criteria assessment is listed here, okay? So once the evaluators receive your proposal, the first thing they will look at is, in terms of assessing the proposal, they will look at the title of the proposal. They will see whether the title is specific in nature, addressing fundamental issues, okay? Whether there is novelty aspect in the title, okay? We expect, evaluators expect that the title must be brief and also reflects the content of the proposal, okay? So normally what I do is when evaluating this, I will read through the executive summary of the proposal and go back to the title and see whether it has this element, specific in nature, addressing the fundamental issues, brief, and also reflects the content of the proposal. So my advice to you is avoid using the straightforward word like investigating, okay, studying, okay, right? So that is redundant word that you shouldn't be using in reflecting a research title for a proposal, okay? Similarly to a thesis, okay? So avoid using those kind of redundant word, okay? Then after looking at the title, okay, the evaluators will look through the executive summary. So we will read, evaluate the problem statement, right, of the proposal, objective of the proposal, methodology, what are the expected output and outcome, and whether the output and outcome expected from the proposal is significant or not. So we'll look through this all elements and give marks all these elements, okay? Right, research background, we'll be looking at these 4 elements. Research background is actually elaboration of the title that has been proposed here. It is a write-up elaborating the title that has been written initially, okay? So here you have state the problem statement. So in research background, it will clarify your problem statement, okay? It will clarify problem statement, research question, hypothesis, okay? Or theoretical framework, okay, that you have suggested, okay? Right. We'll be also looking whether you have cited relevant references. When we say relevant references, we are expecting that most of the references are current, okay? When I say current, it means last 5 years, okay? Because why this is important? Because we want to see whether the research proposed by you is novel, right? So novel, it means that it's not something or research problem which has been researched a long time ago, okay? So if you are citing many research problem which has been done many years ago, then it might not be novel anymore. Maybe there are some solution to it already, right? Okay. So, but if the research problem has been researched a long time ago and there is no solution to it, then you have to give respective literature which indicates so, okay? So we are expecting that maybe 70 to 80% of your references are current, okay? And we'll see whether the proposal is in line with the government policy, okay, with the current government policy. So if you have gone through Prof. Dr. Muhammad Isa in the last webinar, so he has explained what is the current government policy that you need to follow through when you write this proposal, okay? Whether it is in line with government policy, national agenda, and also global aspiration. So when we say that, we are hoping that the research proposal can help alleviate problem locally, nationally, or maybe ambitiously to say at the world level, okay? Right? So scrutinize will be done thoroughly at the objective that you have written in your research proposal, whether it is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and within frame time that you have proposed, and is your objective is actually addressing the problem statement that you have stated or research question that you have stated in your research proposal. So we'll be looking into this, okay, to evaluate whether your research and research methodology. This is quite important element in the proposal. A lot of marks is given to this.
Sorry, Prof. We lost you from the end of objectives.
Okay.
At the end.
Right. So okay. So we will look at your objective. Okay. Your research proposal objective. Okay. The things that we are looking is the thing that we are interested in to see whether your objective is specific, can be measured, can be achieved, realistic, and also within the time frame that you have proposed. Okay. And we also try to relate your research objective to the problem statement that you have stated or to the research question that you have stated in your proposal. Okay. Right. So these are the two elements, important element to evaluate your research objective. Okay. Then it comes to methodology. A large mark is given for research methodology. So you must write with care your research methodology and evaluate whether it is clear and detailed enough, okay, so that the evaluators will understand how you're going to perform your research, whether the methodology will be able to achieve, okay. It would be easier for the evaluators if you include your description of methodology with a design, flow chart, Gantt chart, activities, and also milestone. So the evaluators not only relying on the written words in your proposal, but also what pictures, okay, and also a flow chart, for example, which makes it easier for them to understand the methodology of your research proposal. Then after that, we're going to see your expected results, okay? So we will scrutinize whether the expected results can be defined as new theory, new findings, or new knowledge, okay? So this one, the evaluators will see whether these elements are there, okay? Whether it can generate into a high index publication or also intellectual property, right? So some researchers, when they write their research proposal, they are already proposing a research manuscript, okay, in the proposal. They already write the title of the manuscript, okay, in the research proposal. So from there on, the evaluators can see whether the titles has this element, is proposing new theory, new findings, or new knowledge, okay? And this is a must as an expected result, as I have mentioned to you. So we are expecting that with this amount of money the government invests to the researchers, they can give back the investment in terms of human capital resources to the country. So we are expecting that you can produce for 2-year project, at least 1 master student, or for a 3-year project, at least 1 PhD student. Okay. And we will also scrutinize whether the expected result has an impact on society, economy, and also the nation in whole. Okay. Right. Then the evaluators will look through your track record and also the team. Okay. In this proposal. Okay. The team. Okay. The members of the team. Okay. They will scrutinize the experience in managing a research grant, whether you have previous successful research projects to back you up, okay? The qualification and rank of researchers, whether you have master's degree, PhD degree, okay? And also a well-balanced team, okay? So, for example, here, a well-balanced team, we look at your objective of research. If you have 3 objectives, whether all your team can address the 3 objectives, okay? Or whether there is a gap in one of the objectives, there is no team, there is no members that can address the team, okay? So this one needs to be carefully scrutinized when you write up your research proposal. Make sure that your members can address the objective that you have stated in the research proposal, okay? Then quality proposal, whether it is meticulous or not, whether there are some informations missing, okay, in the research proposal. For example, you say you want to characterize your material with this equipment, for example, but there's no information what kind of equipment you're going to use, where you're going to get it, where you're going to do it, you know. And also in the budget, there's no indication that you are allocating certain amount of budget for that characterization, for example. Okay, so the evaluators will look at this. Okay, whether you are using proper use of language, grammar, spelling, sentence construction. Okay, so you must bear in mind, evaluators are not only reading your proposal. So they are given a very short span of time, maybe 2-3 weeks, okay, or less than that sometimes, to read 20 research proposals, for example, okay? So they do not have enough time. So they do not have, well, luxury of time, to be precise, okay? So if your proposal consists a lot of grammar, spelling mistake, and also hair-wired sentence construction, there will be some what we call I mean, everybody has this, not just the evaluators. I think you yourself as an academician also have this. If it is difficult to understand, then it will give impact to the evaluation process. Okay, so you must make sure that your written proposal has got correct spelling, sentence construction, okay, grammar, okay, and use good formatting and nice presentation to make it easier for the evaluators, right? Right. Then elements of FRGS criteria. This is one of the important elements that the evaluators is going to look through in your proposal, whether the proposal is novel, has cutting edge, or high impact to the society. Okay, so that is the assessment criteria. So I've gone through all the assessment criteria. What about the marks? Okay, so we're going to go more detail on this later on, but generally, the marks is stated in the table here. So currently, when I look through Prof. Dr. Muhammad Issa in his presentation, there is also another part in the evaluation marks given, which is rating, okay, which is rating. So I'm going to talk to you later on about this. Okay, so generally, if you achieve 75% and below, your grant will not be recommended automatically by the system, okay, automatically by the system. If your mark is in this range, 80 to 84%, then it will be considered as recommended, okay? And then most likely, if you get the grant, your mark is in this range, 85 to 100%. So this one is highly recommended. Okay, so most of the grant granted is in this category, most. Okay, there are still some which is in this range, recommended, can also given by the KPT, depending on certain situation. Okay, right. Okay, so the rating will be from 1 to 10. Okay, from 1 to 10. So if your mark is less than 55%, then your rating will be 1. Okay, so there will be 60 to 64%, 2, okay, and so on. Okay, if you achieve 100%, then your rating will be 10. Okay, so there are other reasons for rejection. Okay, so this is listed in this slide here. Okay, these are the reasons for rejection that I have collected through years of experience evaluating this FRDS. Okay, so I will indicate some of them. So visualization of scientific data using an area that is already well researched, okay? Meaning that there's no element of novelty. Okay? No new fundamental result can be expected. So when the evaluators evaluate the research methodology, he thinks that from that research methodology, he cannot expect there will be fundamental result coming out from that research methodology. The third reason here, the proposal does not address specific evolution component states in the project title. So he mentions species evolution in the title, right? But in the research proposal, he does not address how he does not address to investigate the species evolution. Okay, so knockout. Okay, this is knockout already, so the research proposal is rejected. The project does not generate fundamental scientific knowledge, but it's more of monitoring project. So this project is related to water quality. So it is more or less like just monitoring the water quality in certain areas. It does not actually generate any fundamental scientific knowledge. Okay. Methodology to prepare double layer capacitor is not very clear. Okay, so when you read the proposal, you don't know actually how he or she is going to prepare this double layer capacitor. Okay, so novelty reasons coming out from applied science field. Okay, which has been rejected. Okay.
Prof,
right?
we lost you from the novelty.
That's the new finding expected.
Prof.
Again, okay. Which one you lost? This slide or the previous slide?
The previous one, the last one, novelty.
I'm sorry. Novelty. This one, okay? Yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, novelty of the project, yeah, it's not very clear, okay, in the research proposal. Okay, so because this is fundamental research, so we expect there is some element of novelty. So in this case, it's not clear. So that would be one of the reasons that the evaluators can turn the proposal down, okay, or can reject it or not recommended the proposal. Okay, the project lacks scientific merit, so objective does not reflect the title of the project. So no new finding is stated as the outcome. Okay, a candidate is principal research of NFRDS from 2010 to 2012, but there is no evidence when you check through the history. There's no evidence that this project has been completed at 75% level. Okay, so the evaluators will look through all these things. Okay, Number 9, project team is too small, not sure about the capability of the project leader. Okay, so when the evaluators browse through the publication of the project leader, okay, it does not seems to have evidence that the project leader has experience in handling the research proposal. Okay, methodology is not clear, could not identify the fundamental aspect of the research, not enough people in the research team. So maybe there are too many objectives. There are 4 objectives, and the research team is only 2. The 2 only can address the 2 research objectives. The other research objectives is not stated who is going to address the research objective. So these are some of the reasons which amount to rejection. Okay. Right. For pure science rejected, these are some of the reasons that I have collected, okay, from the years of experience evaluating research proposal. The proposal is good, but I do not understand why there is no training to the presentation for PhD, meaning that it is not stated that a researcher will employ a PhD or master student. He only states that he's going to need a research assistant at SPM level, okay? So it did not comply with the FRDS guideline, okay? So the proposal was rejected, okay? Novelty of project as compared to other projects under grant is not clear. So the evaluators have browsed through your research experience, and it seems that the proposal prepared for the year is similar to the previous proposal that he has prepared or he has obtained in other years. So there's no element of novelty, okay, because the problem has been addressed in the previous project, the research, okay, to general research methodology.
We lost you again from the novelty of the project.
Novelty, okay, here. I'm so sorry. My tech, right? Is it okay now, Dr.
The line is breaking.
Is it okay now?
The line is still a bit breaking.
The line is breaking. Okay, maybe I will.
Yeah, I think better
hide myself.
Yeah, sure. Maybe just turn off the radio, the video, maybe.
Okay. So is it okay now?
Yeah, clearer.
Right. Okay. So novelty of the project as compared to other projects of other grants is not clear. What I meant here is when I look through the research experience of the researchers, he already obtained several projects. Okay. And the problem that he's going to propose in the new project is similar to the previous project. So it is not very clear of the novelty of the current project that he's proposing now. So that's why it is stated here, novelty of project as compared to other project under other grant is not clear. Is that okay? Okay, right? And then some of the reasons, here's researchers, too general, there is no specific problem or algorithm which want to be tackled, okay? This is technicality which should have been addressed by the university itself, okay? But maybe somehow it was not. Then, so the capability of the researcher is also questionable. No research track record to support her research problem, her research project to ensure the successful of the project. Has been commented in some of the research proposal is the research problem that the researcher proposed is at low priority area. Okay, so this is also one of the reasons that your proposal can be rejected. Okay, so other issues that you probably need to address when you write your research proposal. Okay, this is obvious, but does not address these issues very well. Okay, and because of that, it has caused the research proposal to be rejected. Okay, because you must remember there are many research proposals being put up to universities, to KPT, and the amount of money granted, okay, or available is limited, right? So any technicalities that arise during the evaluation, okay, may cause your research proposal to be rejected. For example, okay, your profile. Okay, some of the proposal that has been put up in my grant has not addressed the issues of updating your research profile. Okay, so there is no photograph of your research profile. Okay, CV has been updated since 5 years ago, maybe, okay, 3 years ago, okay. The publication also has not been updated, right? So when you want to apply for this FRGS, make sure you have done this, okay. You have updated your research profile. Make sure you have a photograph to indicate who you are, okay, to represent you. Your CV is also updated, your publication is also updated, okay. So do this, it will help the evaluators, because like I said to you, when we want to evaluate your track record, okay, we go through this, we need these informations, okay. Your research proposal must be detailed and also concise, okay. So some researchers, they tend to write details and very what we call not straightforward, okay. As I have mentioned, we receive 15 to 20 research proposal, and we are given a very short time span to evaluate the research proposals, okay. So if your proposal is too roundabout proposal without diagram figures, it would cause a lot of what we call headache to the evaluators to actually understand your research proposal. You make sure your proposal is detailed enough and concise enough, okay? With the help of diagram, that will be very beneficial for the evaluators to evaluate your viability of the project. Organized and well-structured research proposal would be very helpful, okay? Previous knowledge on the background issues of the research proposal would be a very good point to score, okay? So when we will check whether you have previous knowledge on the proposal that you are going to propose. Whether you have done similar project, okay? At which level you have done it, okay? So there must be evidence that you have knowledge, okay? We will look at your application, okay? Whether you have published similar papers in the field, okay? Okay, so this one will be scrutinized, okay? And it will be a plus point to you if you have these informations. If you have already updated your CV, some of you have, but because you have not updated your CV, so when we look through, we have no evidence that you have this knowledge, right? So that's why I said to you, it's important to update your CVs, okay? Significant improvement has to be made to the previous proposal, right? This is for the case that your proposal was rejected last year, for example, right? And you would like to put up again the same proposal, right? So you have received comments from the last year's evaluators for a research proposal, right? And the evaluators can check similarity, he or she can do similarity checkup, okay, of your research proposal, right? So he will check whether you have done significant improvement to your project, okay? So because the advantage for those experienced this is he already knew what to improve because he already got comments from the previous evaluators. So what he needs is just to improve the research proposal and put it up again. Okay, so there should be improvement in the write-up of the proposal so that the evaluators can give respective evaluations for the new research proposal. So make sure you have significant improvement to your previous proposal before putting it up again for this year's application. Okay, so the gist of it all is write up a good proposal. When I say a good proposal, from the Mohi represent fundamental research. So you already have a list of checkup that you can do. Okay, after you write your proposal, then you can check up whether all those elements are there, right? To make sure that when it goes to your university level, it will pass through your university level, and whatever recommendation made by the panel at your university level, you must address it, okay? Or if you feel that the panel has given not suitable recommendation, justify your argument, okay, why you think that it is not just, it is not a good suggestion, justify, okay, right? So that when the evaluators at the KPT level look through it, okay, it sees that the you have significant effort to improve your research proposal. A sharing session today will help you all to write up a good research proposal, and then we can give a positive recommendation to your research proposal. And all in all, it will help our country to progress positively in fundamental research. That's all, I think. So I would like to thank you all and good luck. So maybe we have some time for question and answers. Dr. Tan, over to you.
Thanks, Prof. So thank you very much, Prof. We have received quite a huge number of questions, and I've tried to group them to a few categories. Maybe in this session, we will address a few themes, and the rest on tablet rules or like management of the grant, we will try to collect answer and then send it over after the event. So the very first one, the participants are very interested to know about the team of researchers that they form. So the first thing is, what is the maximum numbers, or what are the numbers that you would suggest for to form a team?
Okay, so you have already write up your research proposal, right? The number of teams would depend very much on your objective, right? So if you stated 3 objectives, for example, in your research proposal, you must make sure that the team must be able to address the 3 objectives, okay, the 3 objectives, right? So we, for this FRGS, the maximum objective is 4, I would recommend, not more than that, okay, because you are given only 2-3 years to complete the grant, okay? So more than 4 would be very difficult within the time frame for FRGS. Maybe you need to apply for LRGS if you have more than 4 objectives. So a good number for a balanced team would be not more than 4, okay? Would be not more than 4, depending on the research objective. Because this is 2-3 years research grant, right? So if you have more than 4, maybe depending on how for the arrangement that you can meet with the research team. But if one research members can address 1 research objective, so I think about 3 to 4 team would be good, I think, for the FRGS. That is my personal opinion. Yeah.
Thanks, Prof. The other one is on the title of the research project. Would you please give some good examples on good and acceptable titles?
Good example of the title.
Yeah.
So the research title, I have not put up an example in my presentation today. For example, right? One is you want to address the novelty element, okay? Novelty element in your project, right? What is your novelty? Is it coming from methodology? Is it coming from ideas, or is it coming from analysis? Okay, so that must be in the research title. Okay, in the research title. Or is it coming from materials, for example? Okay, is it coming from the materials? Okay, so it has to be in the research title. Okay. Let me check if I can share with you some other slides that, with which I have looked through. Let me check. Sorry, it's not here. For example, if you feel the analysis is your novelty, right? So the title must have that analysis, okay? If you feel the materials is the novelty, so the title must include the materials, okay? Must include in the materials, okay? For example, let me check, okay? It doesn't come to my mind just now to give a good example. Light emitting diode, okay, from zinc oxide quantum dot using new analysis, for example. And what is the new analysis? So you must mention the new analysis, okay, that you're going to use, okay, in the title. Avoid word like investigation, study, okay, all the, so your title is that satisfactory answer?
Prof, avoid, we lost you from the avoid.
Avoid words such as study, investigation, all those redundant words, okay? Because sometimes I see in the title they use study of X with respect to Y for what? Okay, for mechanical properties, for example. Okay, so study, it's a redundant word. You don't use it in your title. Okay, it doesn't reflect novelty of the research word. For example, investigation. Don't use it in your title. Don't use the word investigation in your title. Okay. Or fundamental study of what? You don't need to use fundamental study in your title. Just directly address the fundamental issues in your research in the title. Is that clear, Dr. Tan?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Prof. So the next one will be on collaboration. The new FRGS guideline actually says they encourage researchers to collaborate with industries or agencies. And then what is the, are we going to, is it like compulsory for us to name those people as a collaborator, or to name them as a co-PI in the research form?
Okay. You can name them as a collaborator, Okay, it's not a problem. It's not necessary for you to name them as one of the team members, okay? Because you have to have evidence, for example, email communication with these collaborators. They are interested to involve with your research in the FRG application. That would be sufficient, okay? Unless these collaborators are going to address one of the objectives that you're going to work on the research, then you can name them as one of the researchers. But if they are only helping out in certain ways, okay, it is sufficient to have communications evidence that they are interested to involve with this project one way or another. So evidence of communication saying that they would like to involve further in the work would be a good evidence to show that collaboration is going on between you and this person, okay? To the high level of collaboration, if you have MOU, for example, okay? So that will be evidence of collaboration, okay? If you have that, you can put up in your microgrant to indicate that you have collaboration with this respective agency. But email communications to show interest of these collaborators would be enough evidence to show that you are collaborating with this agency, okay? But some agency, they want you to sign MOU, MOA, okay, to tie you up with this collaboration. So you have to examine whether your research proposal is to that level that you need official collaboration documents to move on to perform your research proposal that you have proposed, okay? So if MOU, you will need more time to do it, okay? So meaning that you have done it previous years of collaboration with these people, you have already established a good collaboration with them, you are ready to sign MOU, then you at the same time applying for FRGS, then that can happen. But if you are just starting the research, writing the proposal, then I think the best would be evidence, communication evidence, to indicate that some parties, agency are interested in your work. They would want to further involve in your research work. I think that would be sufficient if you are at that stage.
Okay, thank you, Prof. There's another one on the research record. So when the evaluator actually evaluate the previous research record of the applicants, do they consider the unsuccessful applications of the co-investigator?
Yes, they will consider, okay? Meaning that co-researcher also play a part to indicate that you have a good team to run the project, okay?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, thank you. And then,
for example,
yes, Prof. For example?
Okay, for example, you have 3 objectives, right? You as a PR, you can only address the first objective, right? And you only have evidence that you can address first objective only. For example, you have publication to show that you can address the first objective, right? But your team member can address the second and third objective, for example. So that will be looked into as well, okay? So your research member track record is also important in that sense.
Okay, thank you, Prof. I think we are about an hour, like past the original scheduled time. One last word from.
I'm very sorry. I mean
It's okay, Prof, it's okay, because we still have a lot of questions that the participants would like to ask. But unfortunately, we will only be able to answer your question offline, and then we will share with you via email. So last reminder, please go and fill out the attendance form so that we can capture your email address, and we will be able to send you all the answers that you all the answers to the questions and the slides together with the recordings. Yeah. And one last words to the participant. What would be your recommendation for the researchers, especially the young ones? Most probably some of them will have a few times of rejection, and what will be your advice for them to encourage them to continue not giving up?
Okay, right. I understand. I mean, I've gone through this experience as well. Okay, I've been a young researcher also. Okay, so I mean, these people.
Sorry, Prof, we lost you.
This experience is a learning curve for everyone, actually. Okay, are you okay now? Are you with me?
Yeah, now okay.
Can you hear me? Okay, so rejection is something that everyone has to experience. Okay, right? So it is similar thing like you write a manuscript. Okay, for application. Okay, it's similar process. Okay. It would be highly unlikely that your paper will be accepted first time round when you submitted it. Okay, it would be highly unlikely. Okay, meaning that the probability of being accepted first time submitted is very low. Okay, right? But if you follow through all the criteria that we have just now go through together, right? Follow through it, right? Make as you can, that you update your CV. You are capable of doing this research, okay? You have evidence of your capability is shown in the proposal. It will be very difficult for the evaluators to turn down your application, okay? It will be very difficult. I have experienced that a few times, young researchers, right? The proposal written was very well written, okay? He has not enough experience as we normally grant, okay? It's not have that much experience. But all evidence show that he is capable, okay? There is manuscripts written by him stating that he has done similar work, okay? There is enough evidence that he is a capable researcher, okay? From the experience from his PhD and so on.
Prof, the line, we kind of 100% lost you.
So that, okay. Is it clear now?
Yeah, but we lost you from the PhD experience.
Okay, PhD experience, right? So we look through from your PhD experience as well, okay, as some young researchers, okay? From your PhD experience, how many publications you have produced, okay, to give any indication that you are actually capable, okay, right? What are the outputs produced from your PhD work, right? Impact of on the society from your PhD work, for example, okay? So all this will help the evaluators to examine whether you actually have actual evidence that you can do the research, okay, in your CV. Okay, Dr. Tan, is that okay?
Yep. Yes, Prof. So I think we will end our session today. Thank you very much, Prof, for spending time with us. And now we have about 38 questions to answer.
Okay,
we will
right,
send the answers to everybody. And again, thank you very much for participating. We look forward to seeing you in our next event. Thank you. For all participants, can you please also fill up the feedback form that we are going to share with all the participants. Please be reminded to fill up your attendance so that we can send you all the related documents and recordings. Yes, Prof.
Okay, so on my part, I'm very sorry. Somehow today's internet is not very good. So it has caused, I think, maybe not so smooth presentation from me. So, but I thank the UM and also my RMA giving me the opportunity to share with all the participants. So my hope is that this sharing session will give some ideas, some ways of perfecting their proposal, and hopefully that will help them to get through positive recommendation from the evaluators. And it's a learning curve, okay? It's a learning curve, meaning that if you do not get it this year, do not, what we call, try it next year, okay? It's a learning curve. Even I myself, after having this experience, my research proposal sometimes is also rejected, okay? It's something that you have to accept the fact that it's very highly competitive outside there, right? So because of that, you have to put extra effort, okay, to get through, to get positive remarks from the evaluators, and also get the grant. Okay, don't be what we call, if you get rejected, don't putus asa, don't feel like that. Okay, try again next year. Okay, try again next year. Okay, you will get there. It's a very competitive situation because of the our current situation. Funding is very difficult in our country. We must understand that, right? So extra effort need to be put on, okay, to get there. Yeah. It's a reality that we have to accept, okay? But don't, what we call, jangan putus asa lah, okay? Try your best, okay? Check your proposal whether it has all the elements that we have discussed just now. Update your CV, right? And make sure all your team members can address the research objective. Make sure your research methodology can answer all the research questions and research objectives that you have written in your research proposal. And identify the novelty of your research project. And make sure it's in the title of your research proposal. I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you all participants. Bye-bye.